Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live with Shelly James. I am Shelly, and I am thrilled to be back on again live with all of you tonight. Back from a week off from for the Labor Day holiday. Remember what it was. And we just got back from Michigan. We drove back over the last 3 days. So kind of took our time this time, a long time in the car. It's a long darn trip. But I'm happy to be here again and back home, sleeping in my own bed, sitting in my own chair, and on with all of you. So if you're out there watching and joining me, give me a quick shout and let me know you're there, where you're at. Hi, Janet. Hi, Pat. Thanks for joining. You're on the YouTube site. And got a few of you joining on Facebook. Hi, Joy. Hello, Lois and Michelle and Bobby and Rebecca from chilly Michigan. It wasn't chilly when we were there. I wish it was. So, hey, Lee. Awesome. Thanks for joining, guys. So, hi, Judy. Yep, I was in Southeast Michigan. We even went up to Frankenmuth for a fun little family dinner. Had my sister's family come in from Kalamazoo and met us there, and my sister-in-law and her husband and all our kids. It was really nice. We had a really nice visit. So hello, Joanne from Nova Scotia. Thanks for joining. And hi, Curtis. Wonderful. So tonight I'm just going to do a fun little demo of a gilded black pumpkin. So we're going to be playing with black and gold tonight and sharing with you some fun leaves around that and some other neat little tricks to make that a fancy looking pumpkin design. And we've got Linda, Rebecca. You said it's in the 40s right now. Oh my goodness. It got cold after we left. Hi, Doris. Hi, Margaretha. Rachel. Wonderful. Okay. So just as a quick reminder to all of you, thank you all so much for being a part of my YouTube channel. Those of you who are, if you're not, please make sure you go check that out and subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified every time I come on live. I did a few pre-recorded videos for all of you before I left, so hope you enjoyed those. My little witchy bird was fun to do on the Shelly Loves to Paint this past Monday. Whether you're into the Halloween spirit or just fall, it's a bird with a hat, okay? So it doesn't have to be a witch. And so I just thought those were fun little designs to share with all of you. So coming up this Monday on Shelly Loves to Paint, I want to share with you this one. So this is a porch leaner, and it's a moon glow with a corn stalk and a couple of pumpkins. Aren't those fun? So this is coming up this Monday. Make sure you watch it. Those are the free lessons on Shelly Loves to Paint. And you can do that on any, this is a 1x6 by 30-inch board leaner. You can do that on any size board you want because it doesn't require a pattern. It's real simple to do. And I share with you exactly what you need to do, all the steps to create that fun design. So hope you'll go check that out this Monday at noon is when that drops. All right. And then we have coming up all this month of September, we're going to be doing fun Halloween designs on Shelly Loves to Paint, on all of my shorts, and then also here on my weekly Saturday Night Lives. So stay tuned for all of those. Make sure you come back and watch and join me for all of those fun opportunities to create with me. Okay. Just a reminder for those of you who maybe you haven't signed up yet, but there's still time. We've got 2 great classes coming up in September. I have, first of all, this Tuesday. So the email went out to everybody if you're participating in this class already. But we've got our kitty in orange flowers, and she's a gorgeous little thing and real easy to create. I take you through step by step all of the strokes to create her and the pretty orange flowers around her. Very simple strokes, lots of singular stroke colors, layering, and doing a little bit of white highlighting around those. So this is going to be a fun one. This is this Tuesday, and it's $30. Okay. If you haven't signed up, you can still do that. If you want to, you can go to Michelle My Belle Designs, my website, and sign up there under Learn to Paint and classes. Or if you want to just leave your information here, I can send you a Square invoice and you can pay for it that way. Okay, and get you signed up and you get the information right away. It's already been sent out to everybody. Okay, and then the second class that we're doing is on the, what date? 23rd of September, and that is this earth tone pumpkin design. All right, so we've got this on a 10 by 20. You could do this on any canvas that you care to, any size canvas or any orientation of canvas that you care to. It's just a pumpkin with the vines going out. So if you did it on like a 11 by 14 or a 12 by 16 or even a 16 by 20, you could have the pumpkin kind of in the corner, centered partially. No, you would put it in the corner and then have it and the vines coming up around it. And you can orient that any way you like. But those are some fun leaf designs that you're going to be learning. And I'm going to share a little bit about those tonight with that gilded pumpkin. So that's coming up on the 23rd of September. And as always, I do a special every month from both of my classes. So if you want both of them, it is $52 for both of them, or they're each $30 a piece. Okay, so it's not too late to get signed up for both of those for this month. All right, so that is all I needed to share with all of you. And then thank you to everybody who participated in my BOGO sale for August that took advantage of that. There will be another BOGO sale coming up by the end of this year. And that's my big one where you buy one, get one free. This past one was buy one, get one 50% off. So that'll be coming up later this year. So watch for that. Let's see, had questions. Where do you get boards? So you can get boards at any home improvement store. That's all that is. It's just a 1 by 6 by 30 inches. So any pine board or whatever you might have laying around your garage will work just fine. So it doesn't have to be that size either. It can be any size you want it to be. Okay. So thank you guys. I appreciate that. So we are going to be doing tonight's demo. I'm just going to jump right into that. So tonight's demo is a gilded black pumpkin. I'm going to be sharing with you how quick and easy it is to create this pretty pumpkin design and then embellish it with strokes and stencil. I've decided, I originally didn't stroke it, or I originally didn't create it with a stencil, but I'm going to show you how to do both. So if you want to do it quicker, with less stroke work, I'm going to show you how to apply a stencil to that, or you can do the actual stroke work for each of the scrolls that are put on there. And I'll show you how to do both, along with the fun leaves that are on there as well. So let's get overhead and we will get started. There we go. Okay, so we're going to be working on, this is a mixed media. This is a thicker paper. This is 184 pound 9 by 12. Okay, and it's just a white mixed media. So I'm just gonna put that over right there, and then I will put out my colors. And I just grabbed a little 6 by 6 stencil that had a pretty kind of flower and leaf scroll design on it. You can use anything that you might have. This one was by Plaid. I don't know if they even make this one anymore. But if they do, you can pick that up on their site. This is the design that we're going to be creating. Okay, so let's get our colors out first. First thing, of course, is the color of our pumpkin. We're going to come down here. There we go. So licorice is our color for the pumpkin. And I'm going to put out some wicker white to help with the segment highlighting. Don't need a lot of that, but I'll just a little bit more. Okay. All right, so those are our pumpkin colors. And then my leaf colors is mainly Pueblo and yellow ochre. Let's put that out over here. That's not going to come out nice, so we'll put it that way. Using Folk Art multi-surface colors. And so we're going to be loading Pueblo with yellow ochre and then adding some white in with the yellow ochre to kind of boost that up. And then I'm also going to put a little asphaltum. And this is a matte color, also by Folk Art, but this is matte versus our multi-surface has a satin finish to it. And then, of course, we have our Treasure Gold, and this is gold toned Treasure Gold. All right, and we need some floating medium. Since we're on paper, it's always a good idea to have floating medium. Okay, so those are all the colors we're working with tonight. Okay, so first of all, I want to, let's grab a 3/4 inch flat. Oops. And I'm going to take a pencil and just kind of sketch out how big I want this to be. Okay, so it's a good size, and you know, I'm going to turn my orientation of my surface this way. Okay. I love different color pumpkins too. I like to do things that are just a little bit different from the standard to share with you guys, especially around this time of the year. So I'm just going to kind of sketch this out. It's going to be a spread 5 fingers. So we're going to come all the way over here. All right. And I'm just going to get a rough pumpkin shape. You don't have to sketch this. You can just go right ahead and jump in freehand. And you don't even really need the segments. That's just for placement. All right. And then back here, so we're going to have our stem coming up here. Let's do it there. All right. And this is going to come up and curl around like that. And it's going to have a pretty little curl at the end. And I'm going to do this a little darker here once I get done doing my little sketches so that you can see it, because I realize it's not real dark for all of you. Okay, there you can see that a little better. Black and gold are a real beautiful pairing of colors together. So think about that as a color option when you're looking for something a little more fancy. Let's bring this out here, and then we'll bring this one this way. All right, and then the rest of it just comes down here. There we go. So hopefully you can see that a little better, and you could do a little screenshot of that right there if you needed to. If you're not comfortable with sketching, that would get you a pattern. All right. And then the leaf, I did 3 leaves. I'm going to show you with just one tonight, because they take a little bit of time. But the easiest way to get these maple leaves, or even an oak leaf, is you start with a center stem. All right, so I'm going to come from, let's come from right about here. And we're going to curve that out. So that's your center stem. Okay, and then off of there are all the points. So you come up to each of these points, and then that helps you with laying out the tips, all right? And then you're going around those tips. So I may end up kind of overlaying some of this, but that's going to be the layout of that, okay? And then we'll add some other little pretty leaves around it too. All right, so first thing, 3/4 inch flat. I'm going to get that damp, lay it on paper towel, and we're going to come pick up a whole bunch of licorice and some medium, floating medium, work that in with that. And we're going to come right back here. All right, here, here, get more. And so at first this isn't going to look like much because it's really just base coating in all this black. All right. So just lots of black and medium worked in. And I'm still following the shape of the pumpkin segments so that any visible stroke marks will look correct. And you're not going side to side filling this in like you would base coat a piece of wood, right? You're still creating the shape. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to get just the start. Let's not do the entire stem with this big brush, but we can at least do the start of it and finish it with a smaller brush. There we go. I need some fresh paint with medium on that outside edge just to finish that. There we go. Okay. All right, now, so we've got our pumpkin shape. That's pretty simple. And the next thing we want to do is take that same loaded brush and we're going to come over here next to our white and I'm going to work in that white, work it in real good. Let's bring it out here so I'm not still getting heavy white, so that it's a shade of gray on that one edge of your loaded brush, okay? And so you want to come from there. Let's do this back segment right here and back here. And then the next one, the whites to the top edge. Okay. And then here. All right, so you've got those two sides. It's a little wet, but you can see the highlight. All right. It's a subtle highlight, just so that you can see the segments. A little bit of medium in there. All right, so this one's going to come all the way down that outside edge. Get a little medium on that corner so that it helps give you a nice clean outside edge. There we go. All right, so can you see that highlight? It's real subtle. Medium. And so on this side, we're going to come all the way out here and around. Again, medium on that corner to help you get a nice crisp line around that outside edge. All right, and then again. And we'll come from here now. And up. So you're doing a C-stroke, just like if we were painting it in yellows and oranges, right? You're C-stroking to get that segment. Come all the way down. Like that. And then we'll do one big one in the front. So you're going to come from here right in the middle, right about there. And we're going to come all the way down. We're going to make a loop here. Well, you know what? I needed to bring that one down there. Make a loop here and then back up again. So I need more of that color and medium. And you can come this way. There. All right, so that's your pumpkin. So far pretty easy, wouldn't you say? So yes, this is wet on wet. I'm not waiting for anything to dry. So I'm going to clean this brush. And I'm going to, while this part is drying, I'm going to finish up my stem. Okay, so I'm going to get a 2-script liner. And we'll come get some, get that a little wet and get some licorice worked in with that what is water on the brush. Okay. And we're going to steady yourself with your pinky on the paper, on the surface, to get a nice curve. And then here, you're going to lay it down and then bring it back. I'm doing a little curl right here. And kind of fill that in. There we go. So I'm going to come with my stem now into where the segments are, here and here, just to kind of pull that all together. And that covers up any of the run over of the highlighted strokes. So can you see that? Okay, now I'm going to come with this same brush and we're going to grab some white. All right, and we're going to do a little highlight stroke on this tip right here. Let me come down now so you can see, because they're pretty close, far away. There we go. So a little white, and we're going to do a little highlight on this curve here. We can come up on the top of this curve here and come all the way down into that segment there. And then we'll pull this right here. So it's giving it just a little depth and dimension to that stem. Let's come from here now. And we'll come into the middle of the stem and then out into that segment right there. Another one there. And then we can pull from here and just kind of tug up on those. All right. So that's the white highlight. And you're not going to see a ton of that because we're going to do the gold over it. But I wanted to at least have some framework for this. I'll come back in with some black here and break these apart a little bit. There. Okay. All right. Now this should be dry and we can do our stenciling and scrolling now with our gold. So what I want to show you first is we can do some stenciling and then add strokes to it. Now my original, just show you real quick. Let's back up a hair. There. So my original, right, had all stroke work. And it gets a little tricky when you're getting into all those segments. And so what I want to share with you is we can do some of that with a scroll work or scroll work type stencil. You can just pick parts of it to come from that stem down into, you can flip it this way and do some down this side into the face of this pumpkin. So the first thing I want to do is this is a number 12 stencil brush, and I'm going to come and load this with the gold. So you just get a little bit of gold on that brush. You tap it off on paper towel because you don't want heavy paint when you're stenciling. Okay, and then I'll just set this paper towel right up here where I can reach it when I need to. Okay, so let's start towards the back and work our way forward. So right here, I'm going to take this part of the stencil, I'm going to come right up into the base of the stem, and then we're going to just add some of the pieces of this. All right, and then you're going to lift that and see if you like it. Like, for example, right here where I went over, while that's still wet, you can take some of that back off. So can you see that gold? There it is. Okay, get more, tap it off, and let's pick this part right here. We're going to do into this segment here. You do little circles. And if you use the smaller brush like I'm using, then you don't have to worry about running over the edges. All right, so see how pretty that is? That looks really cool. All right, now I can take this side over here and we can do, let's do a little bit of this right here. A little more gold. Oops, and I moved it. Right there. And I might put a little right here. Right, so it looks like it's disappearing on those back pieces. And we'll take this part right here. Let's do this right here. So we've got a little piece there. There we go. Right in here. Right, that's on that one right there. And then we're going to come forward. So right here. Making circles, just getting that gold in there. See how pretty that is? And then we'll come here. Let's get a little more. Right in there. And again, I ran over, so very quickly I can take that off. So it looks like it's going behind that segment. And then right here in the front, we're going to lay this in right about there. Tap it off. So this, we're going to go wider because this is the front of our pumpkin. Right there. We'll go all the way down here. And lift. All right, so that's a good start. And you could just leave it like that. But now what I want to show you is, so the stencil I mentioned is available from Plaid. I don't sell the stencil myself. It's just one I had. You can use any scroll stencil you have. You don't have to use the one that I'm using. And I lost my script liner. Hold on. Okay, so now you can come in with the liner again, and you can get gold. All right, and you can kind of finish or add or finish out, right, some of these lines. Like right here, I might touch and lift and pull back into where the stencil is. And then I can add one and another. So it's a nice start. And then you can work with the stencil to do more. So I might come down here in front and do a curl. And then on this side, grab a little more, right? We'll touch and lift, touch and lift, touch and lift. And so see how you can just work with that and build on the stencil design. So let's over here, push, stand up, come down here, lift and connect, right? Okay, so let's do a few more. Let's come through here. We'll do another curl. And we'll add one inside that curl on both sides. Right, and so from here you could lay one out. And then touch and lift, right, because this is a separate segment right here. Have it come from behind the fold in the segment, and then, so look, it looks like it disappears behind there and then comes back out. Need a little bit of water with that. Help that move. Okay, so just have fun with it. Find a little scroll stencil that you like, or you can hand stroke it. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so now let's come to our stem, And in between the white, we're going to add some gold. Just a few little stripes coming down or up. And then I'm going to take the handle and we're going to dip, and right at the base where the stem meets the pumpkin, we're going to do a series of large dots. So you're dipping your handle of the script liner into the treasure gold, and you're going all the way around the base of that stem. Isn't that pretty? So that by itself would be very pretty on a card or a design that you like, but we're going to add some leaves to this now. So I'm going to grab my 16 flat and get that damp. All right, we're going to come right down here, so let's shift this over. And so I'm going to double load my 16 flat with the Pueblo and yellow ochre. Some of my two favorite fall colors. But then I'm going to come and grab some white on the yellow ochre edge, and I'm going to work that in. So it's going to make it a little more opaque. Okay, and you could put even white across the whole brush if you wanted to. Right, and from time to time I might even grab, let's do some right now, some asphaltum and work that into the Pueblo. It just richens that Pueblo color, okay? So remember I had my stem of my leaf came through here, right? And then we went up right there, out here, up here. Actually, I think I didn't have quite that many. I think I had 5, but this will work. All right, so the first thing I want to do is you want to create each of these points. So let's turn, so we're coming from this direction, it's easier. So we're going to come in here and we're going to slide out and we're going to stand to a tip, come back a little bit, stand to a tip, back a little bit to the point of that section, and then start back down, a little point, kind of like a holly leaf. Okay. Get more color. My color seemed a little thin. Side stroke some of that white. See how that doesn't look very pretty? It's kind of dull looking, so I think I need a little more white in there. It might be the black background showing. So you just come back in and then back to the center stem. Okay, and then you're going to repeat that process. So you're going to come from here and then you're going to come back out, point, tip. All right, let's do that again. Point, point, tip. And then back to the center of the leaf. Get a little more of that color, come through here, point, tip, back, and then out, whoops, my finger fell off the paper, to the tip of the leaf, okay? Now that looks really skinny. So then what we can do is kind of build up on this. So once you get the layout, you can come back in and make these a little thicker, right through here. And then just take the corner and pull out the pueblo. Right, so there. There we go. So see, that's 1/2 of your leaf. These are a little more complex, but they're worth it. It takes a little time, but it's still one stroke painting. We're just double loading or multi-loading on the brush, and then we're adding all these strokes. So now I'm going to come back to my stem, and we're going to slide all the way out here, point, back to the stem, point, stop. Reverse, point, and back to the stem. And then we're going to come back and back to this one. Point, point, come back, and then point, point up to the tip. Okay, so now, like I was saying before, you can adjust the structure. You can come back through here, and let's make this wider. All right, and then pull your color back. Okay, so there's that leaf. Now I'm wanting to have a little more right here. So we're going to push. Let's get some more color. I don't have enough of that pueblo. And push and pull that back. There we go. So it looks like it's coming from under your pumpkin. Now to get the stem, I'm going to come and let's wipe that brush off, and I'm going to come get the asphaltum. Something about these matte colors under a fan, they skin over really fast. So I hate to put them out early. I should have waited till now. All right, so now for the stem on the chisel of the brush, right? You can touch here, drag that dark behind you all the way to the tip, and then into each point. Like that. And if you wanted to do more detail, you could come get your script liner with some water, get some inky asphaltum, twist that out, and you can pull smaller veins for more detail into each of those points. Okay, so you just have fun with it. All right, now I can take the same color. Let's come and get our treasure or our pueblo and yellow ochre again. Get some white. Okay, and we can do, let's do just another one right up here. It's coming from behind. We're going to come this way, and we're going to have points that come up here, 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 and here. So we're coming from behind, which means we butt right up against that pumpkin edge, point, point, oops, and back to our stem. Pick up more color and go up to the next point, reverse, point, point, and back to the stem. And then here, what you can do is just smooth that out. See? Then we come from here, out, point, and tip. See that? Lay them out a little bit There we go. And then let's turn this. So we're coming on a partial here, point, push, and slide all the way back to the center stem of the leaf. And then you can overlap that. Get a little bit of medium on here because that paper is dry. Point, point, back, and then point out. All right, so when you get all those points done, and you can make your little adjustments if you want to, like right here, come from this one and roll it around and just pull some of that color in. Because once you add your stem, any kind of extra brush marks you might have done will get covered by that. So a little white highlight here. And pull out with the back of your brush. Okay, then you can come back and get your asphaltum on the Pueblo edge. And we'll come out here. There. And there. Okay, then we can get our liner and we can add our extra little veins out into those points. See there? It's not hard. Once you see where those points go, it's pretty simple. You just got to lay your stems out first, okay? All right, now to finish this off, I can come in and do some extra. I did lots of little pretty scrolls and things on that, my original, if you take a look at that picture. But I'm going to, let's get that 16 again. And let's get asphaltum and Pueblo. There. Work that in. All right, and then with the asphaltum to the outside, you can have fun with more leaves and other little embellishments. So let's say, for example, let's come from here and we'll go out, point, wiggle back, right up to the edge of that pumpkin. All right, so it looks like it's coming from behind it. Picking up a little extra color here. And we can come out and back. Out and back. And then on this end, let's roll it around and then push it back. Boy, that's dry. Let's try this again. We're going to come out, wiggle it out, roll. You need medium. Roll it around and then slide it back. It's giving me a hard time. I think my paint is dry. So we just come back over it and make some fixes. There we go. Okay, just fun little embellishments is all I'm doing. Then we can get our 6 flat. And this is another fun thing to do. I'm just going to get licorice with this. Right, and we're going to come out here. And we're going to push and stand up. Push and stand up, little scrolls. Push and stand up. One more right here. Pull that back. A little bit of medium. Okay, and then I added some leaves. Let's side stroke just a little bit of white leaf. And you can even go up the pumpkin. Need a little more white with that. Okay, so just some little fun things you can try. I just wanted to share with you guys tonight some different options. Let's come in here. And then finally, clean that brush and get some gold. And you can come over your big leaves with some smaller ones, little sprays. So just some little things you can play with. The only thing with this is that you want to have an odd number. So like I can get some gold with the asphaltum here. And let's pull a little extra over here. All right, just so you have some balance going around it. And let's come up here. There. Okay. So just lots of little options. I just wanted to share with you guys some of these leaves and how to create this pumpkin. And then I'm going to go ahead and get some inky licorice and sign it. And there you go. There's your gilded pumpkin. And we did that with some stenciling and some hand stroking. And I think that turned out very nice. So I hope you enjoyed that. And thank you so much. Let's come back up and we'll do our drawing for our giveaway tonight. So I think I answered questions as I saw them. The pumpkin stroke work seems more pronounced than the stencil. Is this just from the camera? No, it's not. It's actually, you're laying on more paint, heavier paint with the pen, with the brush stroke versus the stencil. Remember, I tapped off. So it does look a little fainter. It gives you a little kind of two-toned, if you will, look to it. So that's a good observation, Janet. Greg, I'm glad you liked it. Okay, I don't think I see any others on the YouTube side. And painting along with watercolor. Okay. With the gold accents, the black isn't spooky at all. Black is spooky. Okay. If you were painting, as you were painting, I was just finishing up with burst of sunflowers. Oh, wonderful, Sue. That's awesome. So, all right. I think I answered all questions. I apologize if I missed any. Oh, do we always use water or just in acrylic hues? So when you're working with the script liner, I think that's what your question is, Greg. You do need to add a little water to help the liner do what it's supposed to do, because you want to fill those bristles with that paint, and it won't come off nicely if it's not thinned. So that's why we add a little bit of water to thin it for scroll work, and then we add a little more water to get it to an inky consistency to do curlicues and things like that, because then it flows off that brush a lot better. So I hope I answered that question for you. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys so much for spending some of your Saturday night with me, as always. And I'm going to go ahead and do our drawing for tonight. Our winners are going to receive a downloadable video lesson of their choice from previously recorded videos, not current ones. And so if you are a winner, you're going to go to Michelle My Belle Designs, look under Learn to Paint and Downloadable Video Lessons. Any video there, $39 or less, is yours to choose from. And then you're just going to private message me back with your choice. Okay, so let's go ahead and we will roll on our chat for YouTube. And our winner is Michelle M. I don't know who, what your last name is, Michelle M, but that's you. So congratulations. I don't know if that's Michelle Meehan, maybe. So let me know what your name is, honey, and if you're still watching. I appreciate it. All right, and then on our Facebook comments, we're going with Sue Vanderwater. Congratulations, Sue. And congratulations, Michelle M. So you guys go ahead and take a look at what's available out there. Michelle Merritt, thank you. Congratulations. So private message me with your choices, and I will be getting those off to you as soon as I hear from you. Okay. Well, thank you guys again so much, and make sure you come back and see me again next Saturday night. I'll be sharing another fun Halloween-based design for the month of September. And I hope you all have a blessed rest of your evening and rest of your weekend, and we'll see you again real soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.